Sup, world? I'm Jesse.
I'm Colin.
I'm Dallas.
And this is our review of the 17th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor Ragnarok.
Jesus Christ, 17?
17th movie.
God.
The first good Thor movie.
I disagree with
I
that.
disagree with that.
I know. The first one's fine. The
The first one's good. The first one's really good.
I like the
It's
second one, but
okay.
alright.
You're the only one. That
I
likes
know.
it.
The second one...
The second
I
one
think
is the Iron Fist of the movies.
See, I think
You know
Iron
what?
Man
That
2
actually works. I'm also the only person in the world
Exactly.
who
That's
likes
how it
Iron
works
Fist.
because you like.
I think what you said about Thor 2 once was that, hey, it's a good time. And it is a good time. It's a fun, dumb...
It's boring.
There's like awesome action scenes in every 5 minutes in that movie. The last time we saw Thor, he was on a mission to find the Infinity Stones and figure out what was going on with Thanos. This movie has none of that in it. Last time we saw Asgard, Loki had taken over as Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Odin's fate was unknown. Loki was the new king of Asgard.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's not really about that either. Ragnarok is the Norse
It ties it up. though.
apocalypse,
Yeah.
in which everything comes to an end and darkness befalls the universe, and this movie's really not about that either. What this movie is about is Thor getting trapped on a junk planet to fight gladiator matches, and it's basically a prison break movie for 2 hours.
Well, there's
A
also
prison break comedy.
There's also the story of Hela
There is Hela.
doing what she does, but no, she's not trying to cause Ragnarok.
Right, so
She
Hela
wants that to
is...
not happen.
She's not related to Ragnarok at all, I don't think.
She's
Right,
not,
well, they
she
need
is-
Ragnarok to happen. This is
Well,
a
they don't
spoiler
know
review.
that.
Did you say that?
This is a spoiler review.
All our reviews are spoiler reviews.
Yeah, Hela really had nothing to do with Ragnarok. Ragnarok was a separate thing. Like, the movie's called Ragnarok, and we're stuck with that now, so we guess we gotta tie it in there somehow.
Yeah, I mean it does happen.
It does happen.
But it's kind
So-
of just a convenient solution to the problem rather than the focus of the movie.
Yeah. So, general thoughts.
Me first.
You first.
I loved it. It is my favorite Thor movie. It is. People are saying like, "Oh my God, it's like top 3 MCU movies."
Mhm.
Not to me,
Okay.
but I did very much enjoy it. I loved it.
Colin?
I liked it. I wanted to love it. I didn't love it. But I liked it. I mean, saying it's my favorite Thor movie doesn't mean much. It's enjoyable. I saw it twice, and that was not like a difficult experience. I wasn't suffering at all. Yeah.
I think I'm more with Colin than Dallas on this. I feel like so every once in a while there comes one of those movies where you know objectively this is a good movie.
Mhm.
And then for me, I'm just like, I just didn't like it
That's
as
how
much
I feel. Yeah.
as everyone else did. Like I know Dallas, you and I had a conversation, and Kayla, about how they completely changed Thor's personality in this movie.
Yeah.
This is a different
Yeah.
character that we have never met before.
Which I want to talk
That
about.
is played by Chris Hemsworth. Objectively, that's probably a good thing because people were bored by the Thor that we've had for 4 movies now. So it's probably a good idea to make that shift. But for me, it bugged me that with no explanation, suddenly
Bugged me too.
we've got this surfer dude, personality in place of the God of Thunder that we've known now for about 10 years.
I wouldn't say objectively it's a good thing because like taking a character that's based on an actual mythological character
Mhm.
and changing it to be silly is probably objectively a bad
I feel
thing.
like the word you want to use, it's not objectively, it's like
You can see,
majority. Like to
like most people.
Okay.
most people, like on the whole, if you're looking at a survey, most people are going
They're
to say
gonna
this
like
was a good change. But I don't think it's objective.
Yeah, and that's the kind of things that would definitely bother me if I cared at all about Marvel's
See-
Thor before.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that's why I used the word objectively because I was like, I think most people didn't care for Thor before.
Right, but then there are some who like love him, like
Yeah.
somebody.
But the thing is, what makes people love Thor is those little moments of Chris Hemsworth that have popped out throughout the years, where he throws in a little, he's adopted. Like those moments of comedy. I
Yeah,
think that's what's made people like
and
Thor.
that's
Another!
all of this is.
And this was just that.
This
this
is
was
all-
just
this is
Chris
about-
Hemsworth being Chris Hemsworth for 2 hours. So that bugged me. I also, you guys remember when the trailer came out, I mentioned, you guys won't know, you guys know. I mentioned that I was worried that this movie shouldn't have the tone that it has based on what happens in it.
Yeah, I remember having that
I
conversation.
feel
I
like
agreed with you.
coming out of the movie, I still have that opinion. Like, if you look at the things that happen in this movie,
You know what?
This is
Yeah.
a dark. This
There's
is possibly the darkest MCU movie we've ever gotten.
Yeah, when you think about like what happens in certain parts, how everything is left, and then you walk out thinking that was a comedy the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
Because in this movie, Thor loses everything. He loses his dad. He loses all of his closest friends. He loses his home. He loses his hair. He loses his hammer. He loses his eye, and it's all played for laughs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, that's a big complaint.
that's
I
a
have about
lot
the movie, but we'll get there.
to giggle at.
Well, it's like the moments in which these things happen, with the exception of actual Ragnarok, which is weird, weren't played for laughs themselves. The movie as a whole is played for laughs.
Okay.
But like when he
The thing
loses
is,
the
I
hammer, when he
think-
loses his eye, when he loses his dad, those moments aren't funny.
They're
like-
not.
They're somber moments in a funny movie, but like
I feel like not all of them were handled well, though, or like given enough space or time
To, like, be
have
sad.
weight.
Mm-hmm.
Odin in particular really just didn't.
He oogled out.
Yeah, it was like it. Oh, okay, he's gone. Are they sad about it? They're on
For a
Sakaar,
second.
so they don't have time to be sad.
Yeah.
although when he disappeared, they were not on Sakaar. And that wasn't a moment that the comedy took away from it. Hela
Really?
showed up.
Were they on Earth?
They were on Earth.
Yes, they were.
They were
Okay.
somewhere
They were
on
in
Earth.
Norway.
Probably,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This is home. And it wasn't like he died and then here's a joke. It was like he died and then here's the main antagonist.
I mean, yeah.
So we don't have time to be sad because what's happening. And that would happen. This is still a superhero movie.
Mhm.
It wasn't like when Ragnarok happened and then Korg immediately made
Yeah.
a joke. That's the moment where it's like... okay.
And I loved Korg
Yeah,
in
it's
this
funny.
movie. I really liked Korg a lot.
You love Korg.
That was the only moment I was like, you just crossed a line that you hadn't crossed this entire time of being just a little too much.
Yeah.
Or just coming in at the wrong moment. Because that should have been...
Like, honestly, the conversation that we had about the tone and Ragnarok,
Mhm.
that's what I was worried about. I was like, this is going to be a really funny movie, but I'm worried that Ragnarok will happen, everything will get destroyed, and they will make a joke immediately.
Yeah.
And they did, and I was like, I laughed.
I mean, yeah, it was funny.
But I was like, I wouldn't have written that way.
Also, I thought that joke in particular just wasn't... Like, I feel like you saw it coming a mile away when he
The
starts
foundation.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he says it.
Foundations are strong, you're like, oh, it's going to blow up, and then he's going to go. Never mind. So I thought just the joke itself also wasn't a very good joke, and it was just really not in the right place.
I think Korg is funny enough as a character that I'm just going to...
In general, yeah, that's fine.
Let's get to some characters. We talked about Thor a lot.
So, okay, so we have a lot of characters that we know already who were shown in a completely different way. So we got
Yeah.
Thor, who we know, but it's a completely different Thor.
And that was a difficulty for me because I was watching the movie, and for like the first half of the movie, I was like, maybe it was because we had just watched the first movie again.
Mm.
I was like, who is like
Yes.
this? Does not feel like Thor. I'm confused. Who is this dude? And it's weird because the other movies still exist. I can go back and watch them again. So it's not like they wrote that out of existence. So this
Right.
felt like, let's make a different character and give him the same name, which is kind of sloppy just to get like a better movie out of it. I feel like if you want to get a better Thor movie, this was not a Thor movie to me. Like I watched it 2 times, and the second time I watched it, I was like, all right, this movie is a lot better if I don't think of it as a Thor movie.
It's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
It's a
starring
Guardians
Thor.
movie starring Thor. But
Mhm.
even then, just it's not a Thor movie, then it's good. Otherwise, it has like it just doesn't feel right because of how it treats the characters.
Yeah, I think it was Thor's, not his first line, it was one of his first lines when he's like, I am Thor, son of Odin, and you are a flaming hot dude. Surtur, son of a bitch, I thought my dad
Yeah.
died like a million years ago. I was like,
That was
alright, so, okay.
All right.
Honestly, this is how I was feeling, like, pretty early on. It felt like a Lego Thor movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go,
you know
I'll give you
what?
that.
Yeah.
When you watch Lego Batman,
I don't
it's
think
like,
the word son of a bitch would be in a Lego movie.
definitely not.
No,
but, like, the way they
It was
treated the
heinous.
character, it was like, this is a silly take
Yeah,
on Thor.
it was almost a spoof.
That was, yeah, almost a spoof. And it was like, when I watched the Lego Batman movie, I was like, this is so silly.
hmm
And I think if they did Thor, they'd kind of make him like that. Look like the play, like Loki eating
Yeah.
grapes and watching actors.
Matt Damon
Matt Damon.
as Loki. I thought that was great. See, that was the kind of humor I liked because it didn't take me out of the movie. Because I feel like to the characters, that's not a funny thing within the movie. Diegetically, that's not a funny thing to them because I assume Matt Damon is not actually playing himself in this movie. I assume he's playing like an
Right,
actual
he's playing
Asgardian
an
actor.
Asgardian,
So it was like for us, the audience is funny, but the characters are still maintaining their integrity. So that joke worked, and then other jokes like the son of a bitch, I'm like, that's not no integrity there at all whatsoever.
I mean, honestly, Matt Damon took me out of the movie more than
Did he?
anything else.
Well, then never
I was
mind.
like, is that Matt
Is
Damon?
that Matt Damon? I thought that was hilarious.
He's not even credited.
Does that mean Matt Damon can't ever get a role in the MCU now?
Oh, come on, they've done that before. Also, he wasn't credited, so yes, he can.
Okay.
Also, he's dead now, technically, right? Or unless he was on
He's
that.
probably on the ship. Apparently, they put the
Oh, was
entire
that-
population of Asgard onto one ship.
Well, I mean,
They
some
would say
people
that.
probably died on the way
Some of
there.
them
Some people
probably
had died
died.
before.
Yeah, I remember when they first announced Ragnarok, the title, like back in 2012 or something. They announced it, and I was like, oh my god, that's going to be amazing. This story has been around since like the dawn of storytelling. This is
Yeah.
like... And then I saw the first trailer, and I was like, oh, that's not what this is.
I saw the first trailer. I was like, oh my god, I'm excited for a Thor movie. What's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's the kind of thing that if I was really big fan of Thor before,
Mhm.
I don't think I would like this like I did. Like when I saw Iron Man 3 and what they did with the Mandarin,
Mhm.
I didn't like that, but I didn't have any ties to the Mandarin.
I get what you're saying.
But
yeah, yeah.
if I liked the character, I would have been pissed. When they turned him into Ben Kingsley,
Yeah,
playing a guy named Trevor.
a lot of people
like-
were pissed.
Exactly. And I was like, I'm not mad, but I don't like it.
I don't think I was pissed about the change in Thor, because I have liked Thor. Like, the character of Thor, even if his movies were
Yeah.
iffy. I think I don't want this Thor in Infinity War.
Mm.
You
But
know
then I'm
what?
also like, but then do I want
Yeah.
them to do another complete 180 and take him back to the Thor that we've known? It's weird. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think you can get a balance because Taika's not going to make Infinity War.
Well, that's my thing. The Russos are, and they tend to make more serious Marvel movies. But does this character that we've now established Thor as being fit in the Winter Soldier type of movie?
I mean, like, even in, like, the past movies, Thor has been more comedic than he was when he arrived. Because when he first shows up, he's just, I'm Thor, rah, rah, rah.
Sure.
But then in, like,
When you play him
when
up
he's
against
talking
normal
to
people.
them, they're doing the whole, like, trying to lift the hammer thing. And, you know, the he's adopted line.
Sure.
And when he says, like, the gates of hell are screaming with the Hulk's enemies, and he sees how he feels, he's like,
But see, that's my
oh,
thing.
no, they're fine.
But that was comedy that came out of who Thor is as a person. Of course, Thor is going to say something like that. The gates
Right.
of hell are screaming with the blood.
But I'm
of
saying
heaven.
his reaction to it after was like, oh, wait, no, they're like, they just have, like, sprained ankles and gout.
Right, but
Like,
this
that's
Thor
comedy.
will be like, it was lit AF, motherfucker. Like, that's what this Thor is going to be saying. I'm like, that's going to be weird. That's
Shout out
different.
to you
That's a different thing.
and your movie.
Other characters, who else we got returning? We got the Hulk returning.
Yes.
I will say, this is my favorite Hulk. My
I
favorite version of the Hulk.
don't know. See, again, I feel like the comedy was so much that, like, I feel like when you think about it, the Hulk and Bruce Banner's relationship it's more tragic than anything else.
Okay,
And
yeah,
this felt too, like, they weren't going to play into that at all. Like, you know, Bruce says at one point, like, if I go back to the Hulk, I may never come back. But, like, think about that. Like, what does it
He
mean?
does,
What is
yeah.
Bruce's life? What has he been doing for the past 2 years locked in the mental
Mhm.
trunk? What has that been like? I don't know.
Well, it
And then-
seemed to me like it was just, I went to sleep in Sokovia and I woke up.
Yeah, he
on
thinks
Thor.
he thinks it's 2015. He
Yeah.
says, "Did we say
Ah.
Sokovia?" He doesn't presumably do anything. He's
Yeah, I
just-
think it's just kind
You
of.
were saying like, what happened?
But you know, that is a good point. That goes back to my initial point. Is for all intents and purposes, Bruce sacrifices himself. Like he commits suicide at the end of this movie. He kills himself.
He thinks he might not come back.
That's what he said, and then he makes that decision to just Bruce Banner is no longer. And
Yeah,
it's just gonna be Hulk from now on. I'm like, that's a big moment, and it's,
It is.
again, it's played for laughs.
that is played for laughs.
Yeah.
But we all saw that coming.
I mean,
As soon
yeah,
as he
because
jumps,
by the
you're
time
like, he's not going to change.
I mean, that was probably my biggest laugh in the movie, but still, it doesn't change the fact. This is my problem with this movie. I'm like, it was funny. It was genuinely funny. I had a great time watching this movie, but then, like, there's that part of my brain going,
It made you laugh when it shouldn't have.
yes!
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it. I'm mad at you right now. Like, that's what it was.
Well, you get in an argument with somebody, you want to be mad, but they keep making you laugh. And they're like,
Right, that's
I
what it
want
was.
to be mad
I
at
was
you.
like, you son of a bitch. I mean, you shouldn't. I don't know. I have such conflicting emotions right now.
But yeah.
But as far as before these movies started, Hulk was always my favorite Avenger as a kid, and this movie reminded me of why. 'Cause I feel like that's who the Hulk is. Yeah, he's more tragic in other mediums, and I do miss that part of him. But as far as the Hulk being just like this mentally being a 2-year-old child, I loved that.
Okay.
Because also I did feel like that doesn't necessarily take away from what he's done in the other movies. Because in the other movies he has been not funny, but you can assume that there are moments of interaction with him that we've never seen in the movies.
Mm.
And I assume that those interactions would have been something like this.
Okay.
You know, when they're teaching him the lullaby and they're, you know, going through this process.
Honestly, this is, and it's hard to say that Hulk was changed as much as Thor because Thor speaks.
Yeah.
But I felt like Hulk was changed immensely because he has maybe like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue up to this point in the MCU. He'll say Hulk smash, puny god, anything
Betty,
like
I
that.
said once.
I was gonna say, because I don't have a very good memory, it took me a while to remember that he has spoken before.
Right, I was like,
Because of how
when I
much
first
he's
saw him,
spoken
I was
this
like, Thor's not going to say anything about the fact that he's speaking. But he said puny god earlier.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Is I
It
feel
was
like
weird.
off screen,
Yeah.
they've seen him talk before and they've had interactions similar to this before.
Yeah, I was just like, this is quite a jump from
It
speaking
was.
once in the last 5 years to...
But also you can
Now I
attribute it
talk
to
all the
him
time.
being the Hulk for 2 years. Like
Like
there's
he's
probably some development there. But
learning how to speak.
he aged in those 2 years.
And he does in the... This is another thing about they took the Planet Hulk storyline,
Mm.
and in that he does speak
Yes.
like
More
fluently.
eloquently than he
Like
does
he
here.
just speaks like a regular person to an extent. And I don't remember if they explained that in Planet Hulk because
I think in the comics, by the time we get to Planet Hulk, it's like he's
He just
developed to that
talks.
point. Yeah.
I don't know because he's a lot more civilized because they shoot him into space because he's a big rage monster.
Speaking of, how did he get to Sakaar? Do we know?
He was
Has that
flying
been
the
explained?
Quinjet. He just happened to find a wormhole and landed there.
Did they say wormhole? Was that?
They didn't
He
say
didn't say wormhole because he doesn't know the word
He
for
just went-
wormhole.
What did he say?
He just said he crashed.
That's what he said.
Although
Because I'm like, that's a jet.
there is a wormhole there, the Devil's Anus.
Yeah, but where's
That's
that
a car, but not
on
on
Earth?
Earth. I don't think we have a
Well, it has to
We
go
don't know.
somewhere.
So we can assume that the Quinjet made it to space and then somehow it found a wormhole and there he is.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go with
One
that.
of the questions you're not supposed to ask.
See, that was the thing, is I feel like this movie was set up to answer all these questions that it never did.
Mm.
Like, the mystery of how Hulk got there, it doesn't matter. The
we
mystery
know
of
he is
figuring
here.
out, not the mystery to us anyway, but to Thor would be figuring out that Odin is actually secretly Loki, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like,
And that was
Ragnarok,
how
and it
the
doesn't
second
matter.
Thor movie ended. Was like,
that's the cliffhanger.
I'm in charge. Okay, how is this gonna go? And the answer is, you're gonna watch a play.
And there's even, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like putting those seeds in there throughout their seasons. Every time Lady Sif would show up, she'd be like, Odin's acting weird. I want to check that out, see what happened. And then literally she doesn't matter to the point where she's not even in the movie.
She's not even in
at this point.
for some
Well, I
reason.
mean, that was a scheduling conflict. That
I
was
know,
not-
because she's in.
But like story-wise, it
what is it?
she's just
Blind
not-
Spot.
Blind spot. That's what I was trying to think. I
Lines.
was thinking of a word. Starts with a B.
It's a show. She's in it.
Yeah.
I heard about it. I just didn't know the name.
Mhm.
But I think, yeah, I wanted to see more of what Loki was doing
Mhm.
as opposed to he's just watching theater, which is fine. But I feel like for Thor, that's an easy this is not my father. Who could it be?
Sure.
The shapeshifter guy who wanted to be king the whole time.
I get
so
that.
that's easy.
But also that was because Loki was being lazy in his portrayal of Odin. Like he was clearly not Odin
right.
while pretending to be Odin.
But to be fair, apparently the one person who would be able to point him out was Thor.
Thor.
And he had someone on watch to tell him when Thor arrives so he could stop acting like an idiot. Thor Hella doesn't sound as good as Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Hella Thor.
Hella Thor.
Would have
Like,
been
Hey.
good.
that's what he would call it.
That's what
That's what new Thor.
New Thor should have made that joke. Like, girl, you hella evil. That should have popped up at some point.
I'm trying
in
to
this
think, who's the MCU character that would actually say that?
Hella?
I don't think any of them would.
movie. Falcon might.
Luke Cage.
Ant-Man might.
Luke Cage might.
Luke Cage might.
No,
Then again-
he's from New York. I feel
If
like-
Sure.
Star
Here's
Lord
the
was
thing, if
up
we're-
to date on modern lingo, he might.
If we're being I guess geographically correct, Hella's a West Coast thing. Everyone in
Okay.
Marvel lives in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe none of them.
Tony Stark. It was a Malibu.
I could
But he would
see
not say that.
Peter, maybe.
Peter Parker.
You know what? That makes me think of
Hella.
Hey! That was hella fine.
Yes.
Transitions.
All right, we're
That was a
just-
hell of a transition.
Hey!
We're killing it today. Top tier comedy. Anyway,
Anyway,
so Hella,
hella.
she's
Hella.
a character.
Hella. Oh,
I think
hey yo.
I liked her. She didn't make a lasting impression. But from this movie, she was serviceable as a villain. But this was another instance where, oh, you're their sister. There's a family dynamic there. I wish you had had a scene with Odin to
Yeah.
talk about what it means for you to be back and what you were doing when you were locked away and why he locked you. Like, she told us all of this. Like, oh, he locked me away because he couldn't handle that I was all bloodthirsty but he did, and then all of a sudden he didn't. Like, I don't know. It just, like...
It reminded me a lot of Return of the Jedi. When Luke goes to see Yoda, Yoda instantly evaporates, but not before departing that you have a twin sister.
Mm-mm.
Or imparting that you have a twin sister, and now I'm gone. Bye!
I mean,
do what you will with that
did what
information.
he needed to do. That's
Sure.
fine. But Hela, like, I feel like she needed her own movie. Like, she needed, like, the Loki treatment.
Yeah.
And she didn't get it.
She ended
Or
up, like, every
the
movie
Vulture
next.
treatment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her on the list with Red Skull, where I think she was. I don't want to use the awesome. I think she was really good because the actor playing her was so awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of
Kate
like Red
Blanchett
Skull.
was
Kate
fantastic.
Blanchett was awesome. Hugo Weaving was awesome. But as characters, neither of these were very.
Yeah.
They were just kind of there.
Yeah.
They were there to be a threat, something for Thor to punch.
Also, I think you and I disagree on this, or you and I disagree on this, but every time she puts the helmet on, I want her to stop.
No,
It's
I
so
love
bad.
the helmet.
It's
I
so
like the
bad.
helmet. That's me
No,
and you.
it is
I love the
terrible.
helmet. Nope.
It is terrible.
Nope.
Her with the hair and the bodysuit, great.
See, no,
love
I
it,
didn't like the
okay?
hair. I didn't like the Rita Repulsa look.
See, I love that because I thought, all right, she doesn't need to try. She's fine. She's good. And then she puts the helmet on, and it's like, girl, you're trying too
It
hard.
just felt
What
like
is this
something
bug shit you've got going on? You're not Kubo's
An
dad.
ancient
Like,
goddess
what is
of
this?
death would wear. They'd wear this giant, ridiculous headpiece made out of spider antlers. I don't know.
Yeah, I did get a Rita Repulsa look from, you know.
Because
just
when she takes
regular
the helmet
Game
off,
She's
she's
just wearing
a,
a green.
she's
She
just a
looks
normal
like
Hot Topic
Rita
employee.
Repulsa. But like when she puts it on, she looks like something out of Samurai Jack.
Yeah, which I liked.
She does
She
But-
look like
should
Aku.
look like something out
She
of
looks
Samurai
like
Jack.
one of Aku's like.
She looks like
offspring.
Aku.
She
Yeah.
looks like the ones from the new season, the women.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
so this is little
Yeah.
Aku babies. But like
Akuitos.
oh yeah, I get it. It wasn't enough that I was like, please stop it.
The opening of Thor starts with his coronation, right? Odin says, Thor, my firstborn. Something about the way he says it. Now, I doubt this was on purpose at all. They didn't plan this way back then. But something about the way he says it, you can see. It's kind of like Obi-Wan in A New Hope, where like just certain things
Jesus
about his
Christ, is
performance.
everything gonna be Star Wars?
There was a lot of Star Wars references
Everything
in
is
this
Star
one.
Wars with him.
Um,
I have a response to this, but I want you to finish.
yeah, it felt like you could see that maybe he's lying. He says Thor, and then he pauses, and then he starts to cry, and he says, "My firstborn," and his like voice shakes when he says it. So it's like, oh, okay, you could see maybe he was like in his head was going, except for Hela.
I have a couple thoughts on that. When did Thor come out? The first one?
2009.
7?
9.
Oh.
And nothing came out in 2007.
No,
That was
Iron Man
before
came out
Man.
2008.
Oh, that was a dead time.
Yeah, there was no movies. It was just Transformers. So a couple things. I think in 2009, they didn't know that they were going to change Hela's
absolutely.
backstory to actually be Odin's daughter. Because she's not.
No, she's Loki's daughter.
She's Loki's daughter.
Fenrir also his kid, right? The big wolf.
The wolf. I think
The
the
big
wolf is
dire
his
wolf
kid.
was.
That was actually a question I had.
Wait.
What? Sorry, no, continue. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Also, we later found out in that movie, Loki's not his kid. So that could
in
be
the first story.
Yeah. So that could be my firstborn, because he really is like my only son. But you're not gonna say that if Loki doesn't know that.
I'm sure that's what the idea was when they were making the movie. I'm just saying now, retconning in your head, you could
It's
see
like,
it as
yeah,
him going.
You did have another
Just
child
kidding,
that
you know,
put in
because
the
Hela
cage
was out
somewhere.
there. So I did appreciate, like, hey, Anthony Hopkins for just choking on that line for some reason. You know, it works now. when you look back
Firstborn
on it.
child, it's not a little frost giant.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had something.
What is Hela's relationship to the wolf?
That's her wolf.
It's her
She's
homeboy.
felt like found it.
Jon Snow and Ghost, yeah.
No. He was one of the soldiers that she fought with. That's why he was down
That was
there
her
with all the
steed,
soldiers.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, we haven't talked. You wanna
Wait,
talk about
did you talk about Hela?
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on the helmet?
And where do you stand on the great helmet debate of
Here's the thing.
2K17?
I'm in the middle. But I said like the helmet, it's fine. It looks silly to me, but
It just
I
gave her a
don't hate it.
distinct look. That's what I liked.
Yeah, but it was a bad look.
it didn't give her that distinct of a look because she went from Rita Repulsa to Aku. So it was like you look like a Power Ranger villain or a Samurai Jack villain.
I've seen less Akus in the world than I have Rita Repulsas at this point, so.
That's fair. And even in the old like cartoons, she has that. So
Yeah.
they
And
have-
this one was smaller than what she has on the cartoons and the
It's
comics.
like
Like the comics, it's ridiculous. Like it's like the Dimmed Dome's head. It always goes outside the frame, no matter how far away she is from the camera.
we make a Doug Gimeno reference in the rest of our videos. Please. Cool.
Doug did it damn straight.
All right.
Hela was cool. I do think she deserves her own movie because she's pretty formidable. She just like stabs
She'll hit
everyone.
you
fights
with
were pretty
spiky
cool.
things.
She stabs everyone regardless
I
of
don't know
who
what
they
else
are.
she does, but she'll hit you with spiky things.
Yeah, those
Hit
things.
you
Like
with
she
those
gains
things.
her power from Asgard, and then
So
she
the spikes get
the
bigger.
spikes get bigger. Hey.
I mean, like if you gain your powers and that's your technique, you're still gonna use your technique. You're
Sure.
just better with it,
as any video game aficionado will tell you.
right? Like
But see,
Thor's
like,
still
in
gonna
a
use his
different
thunder.
movie, not this one.
Mm.
In a different movie, she could have killed the Asgardians and then brought them back to life to fight for her, like on the spot, possibly if she's the goddess of death. Like I don't know what she can do.
that is a weird thing. The goddess of death thing is weird to me.
She did nothing in relation
Except
to being
for-
the goddess of death at all.
The thing with the living flame and the soldiers in the crypt.
Like she needs the fire to do the thing, which is stupid.
Cool. So that's Hela.
So that was Hela. You know who was hella lit?
Who was hella lit?
Tessa Thompson's
Teenager.
character, who's not named.
Oh, the Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie, the one of many. Wait, it was Scavenger
142.
142. Scavenger 142.
I got you.
What?
That's a terrible high five. I'm sorry.
Also, it's not scavenger, it's scrapper.
Ah, crap.
That's why it was a terrible high
that's
five.
there we
Yeah,
go,
that's
yeah.
it wasn't meant to be.
Anyway, I mean, she's named after the character from the comics who's also called Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. But
So.
in the movie, she's just one of many.
She's one of them.
In the comics, is it like that? Like, do they not have their own identities? Or
Her name is Brunhilde.
Okay, well then.
But they call her Valkyrie, and she's from the force called like the Valkyrior. Valkyrior. It's something that sounds like Valkyrie, but
Alright.
a little different. It's pluralized.
Valkyries.
I wish. But hey, let's talk about Tessa Thompson.
She was cool. I liked her a lot, actually. She's my favorite of the new characters that we were introduced to.
I wanted to love her.
Okay.
I liked her.
Okay.
I wanted to love her. So I was like, this is fine. I just wanted something else that made me like, this is, I love her. She's just kind of a dick. And she has
She's a charming
PTSD
dick.
and drinking habits.
That
But-
that goes back to the tone of this movie, maybe not being what it was.
She's a dick.
Maybe it shouldn't have been what it was.
What do you think about Brunhilde?
I'm kind of leaning with you. She was fine. She's another one where I feel like I need more of her to really feel her as a character. Right now, I just didn't get enough. And like, I felt like there was more to her. There was supposed to be. Like, she's talking about the whole, I fought Hela and I only survived because, and then she pauses, and because is, oh, someone took the blow for me.
Yeah.
Like, were you in love with that woman? Is that why it matters so much to you? Like, what happened there? I just feel like there's a lot about her that I don't know, and so it's hard for me to think, oh, she's awesome.
Also, that didn't explain why she was the only survivor of that battle. Like, did she stop fighting after that moment?
Yeah, did Hela just think, oh, I guess she's dead too?
I shot her once and I missed. I don't want to try again.
Yeah.
How did you get out of there?
It's a
I
little
don't
weird.
understand.
It was a little weird.
I mean, she was fine. Honestly, I liked her more when she was just the drunk scrapper. I thought that was more interesting than when she was a Valkyrie and like, all right, I'm getting back into it.
I thought that scene was beautiful, though.
Oh,
Visually, it was just, oh.
the fight with Hela?
Yeah, the flashback when
Oh,
they show. Whew.
yeah.
I saw that and I was like,
Gorgeous.
God.
It's very artsy.
I will say that about this movie as a whole. There's a lot of visually just.
Mm.
Whew.
Thank you.
Whew.
I was doing that a lot in the theater, but internally because I don't want to get kicked out. But yeah, it was like before she was
You get
like,
kicked out for going, woo.
nah. But I think you do it enough. People are like, what is going on back there? But
Booyah.
booyah.
Hey,
Hey, she was. It was just like, you're rough around the edges and you drink a lot. There's gotta be more to you. And we found out what it was.
Dude.
You're in a war. You survived.
Hela,
Your friends
yeah.
didn't. Survivor's remorse. Which is like, I'm glad we got the depth. But it's like before that, I was just like, why are you being a dick? Like,
She's damaged.
especially
Dallas.
considering she knows who Thor is.
Yeah.
Presumably, she has no reason to dislike him.
I think she's just trying to bury her past and crap. I accidentally kidnapped the Prince of Asgard. Asgard's like the one place I'm trying to avoid.
Does she know who Thor is?
How would she not?
She's an Asgardian.
Yeah,
And
but
she
she
fought
hasn't
Odin's
dealt
daughter.
With, right, but she's
Presumably
been
on
sealed
his
away for how
orders.
long?
I mean, thousands of years, but
Yeah, so if you
that's an
haven't
Asgard
been
years.
on Asgard,
It's like the
She's
reverse
probably
dog years.
pre
if you haven't
Thor.
been
If Thor
aware
doesn't know
of
that
Asgard
hella.
for thousands of years, you may not know who Thor is.
But he did say I'm the son of Odin,
Oh, okay.
so she would know who Odin is.
All right.
I did find it weird that she's supposed to be older than Thor. I don't know if Tessa Thompson is older than Chris Hemsworth or not, but it just doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The
but
planet doesn't age.
Or it does. Well,
Oh,
do,
yeah, no,
because
yeah,
they
you don't
die.
age on Sakaar.
Oh, Sakaar.
Yeah.
Time works differently.
Right,
That's
right.
right.
Because on any other planet, it'd be thousands of years old, but here,
I didn't get what that joke was actually supposed to be.
it was Goldblum's funny face. That was the joke.
Okay.
Are we moving on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any other
Valkyrie,
thoughts
you
on
know,
Tessa? I liked her.
you're cool. You're drunk, scrappy
I'd
character.
be okay
Sure.
seeing more of her, but I don't need
I think I always like Tessa Thompson. I think it's just Tessa Thompson's natural Tessa Thompson-ness that I like whenever she's on screen. I'm
That's
like,
why I wanted to love her.
More
It's
of
probably
you.
why I liked her as much as I did. Because if you put another actress in that role that I don't care about,
yeah,
I'd
okay.
just be like,
I'll give you that.
so we haven't talked about Loki for some reason.
I feel like this movie kind of neutered him a little bit, but
neutered him in what sense?
at the same, yeah, he was never a threat.
To me, Loki is at his best when he's with Thor, not threatening anyone else.
Sure,
Like
okay.
when he's the villain, it just doesn't work as well for me. But when he and Thor are having their familial whatever, that really works for me.
I completely agree with you.
Like you know, the whole I'm trying to talk to you, but you're not talking. You know, screaming, say something at Thor because he wants to get something out of him. I thought that was really good. And the rock throwing, like their relationship, their
Their
dynamic
brothers, like,
always works
Yeah,
for
the
me.
little brother, big brother, family squabble. Because I do not want to see another movie with Loki as the threat.
I get you that.
Like,
I'll give you that.
I'm
But
tired of it. But like
I actually thought
this
think
Loki, I like.
Thor 2 was my favorite Loki, where he toed that line of, are we, like he was fun and he was funny and he had the familial thing with Thor going back and forth, but at the same time you felt like at any point he could turn.
She liked that better than this one.
Yeah, because I feel like in this one you were never, he was just going to be either comic relief the whole time, or if he did ever turn on Thor like he did, you know, Thor was going to handle him quick.
gonna be
He was
comic
easier,
relief.
he wasn't as smart this time around, whereas before I felt like he was, like the story of him turning into a snake. That's what Loki is, he's a snake. Like he's going to be there, he's going to cuddle around, and then at any point he might just strike. You know, turn into a regular human and stab you as an 8-year-old. Which was
I picked up the stick.
Well, to me,
Great
that's
story.
what he was doing on Sakaar. Not so much to Thor, but
Mhm.
to the Grandmaster.
That's what he's, yeah, but again, it was played for laughs.
Mm.
That was not my problem with it, I just felt like, it's a nitpick for sure.
Yeah.
Well, see, I really liked the moment when they're in the it's an elevator, and
Yeah.
Thor's like, "Hey, you should stay. You could do really well here." Because I feel like he's right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sakaar is
Well,
the
even
kind of
Loki
place
was
that
good with that
Loki
line.
could totally like live with and rule and be totally fine with.
Like, I felt like his plan for the Grandmaster was a good one, and I would have liked to see that play out without Loki straight up saying, so here's my plan, right?
Mm.
I'm going to take out the Grandmaster, and then, you know, or whatever he did. I'm like, okay, I get it. That's the tone of this movie, and it did fit with this movie, and it was funny. This is why this movie's going to give me a headache. Like, there was so much I liked and so much that bugged me while I was
Freaking
liking
love
it.
it. And when the Hulk shows up in the stadium and Loki's like,
Yeah, that was great.
I need to get
I
off this planet.
planet. And then when he ragdolls Thor,
he gets-
that's how it feels, yes!
I'm just a huge fan of the
Huge
sport.
fan.
I love.
That was
This is. I feel like now seeing this, I like Loki as much as everyone else did before,
Okay.
because I never saw the appeal. Like, and it's weird because they like him as a villain. I just like him as a supporting character.
Yeah.
But I really like him now.
Did
And
you not see him at Comic-Con that one year?
yeah, that's cool. I just kept seeing it on Tumblr all the freaking time.
That was great.
But yeah, you know, I like him a lot more now.
Okay.
His little knives. And when they come in with the guns, he's like, "Hello."
Yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome.
Though you don't want to talk about it. Here's the thing. So that's another nitpick I had with this movie.
Which
A
the
lot
see
of
through my eyes? Or?
well, it was a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
throughout this
that.
movie. There was a lot of Deus Machina, where it was like suddenly we have either this power or this information that we didn't have before. Because even Thor's lightning powers kind of came out of nowhere. They did like imply it was within you the whole
Apparently
time.
that's related
and-
to Odin. That's something called the Odin Force.
I've
but
heard
I
of
don't
that.
know anything about that.
So when he died, it unlocked Thor's true power.
I guess that's why he kept seeing Odin. Which actually, I'm glad that there's a reason for that, because I didn't get why he used the thunder power every time. It was like Odin. Zoom in on him. Zoom in on him. Zoom in on him. Like what?
Here's the thing.
He
What?
needed to
I
go
got
full
that.
Raiden, Colin.
I got that because I've heard of the Odin Force, and all of that. If that is what it's called, I don't know. But it
Odin
might
just
be.
names shit after himself, doesn't he?
Why not?
Why not?
Like Odin sleeping. No, he's in the Odin sleep.
sleep. Like he's asleep. But yeah, I did get that. Like, okay, you know, he's seeing Odin. He's channeling his father.
Again, another Star Wars.
But like just
Use
the
Force, Luke.
like, and I know why Odin was dressed like that because he was on Earth.
Sure.
But like, it was just so weird to me because
He's
it
wearing
was the
normal-
most dramatic scene. Like, doom, doom.
Especially
he's
for
just,
this movie.
dressed like a regular old man. It's like
He's just like Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins commands your respect,
he's just
regardless
wearing,
of what he's
a
wearing.
pink button-up shirt and like a little shawl. Like.
Real men wear pink Dallas.
That's fine, but like wear pink armor or like something Asgardian. But yeah.
But yeah, so
But
there
I
was
did
that.
like that. I loved
The rated mode.
yeah.
Yeah,
it was-
no, I did like it a lot.
My problem with it was I wanted it at the moment in the trailer. What are you the god of again?
It did.
No, we got it. I didn't want it earlier than that.
Oh,
Because we got
yeah.
it so early and I
Well,
was
we
like,
needed some hint that this was coming. If it had only come at that part of the movie, I'd be like, what the hell?
well, if they still showed it the way it was, like if they still had that moment, like,
Mhm.
are you Thor, god of hammers?
Maybe.
The little like Harry Potter Dumbledore talk
Sure.
that they had, then it would still feel earned to me. But I just feel like it was so early. I was like, you gave away your big secret
It
weapon.
did.
in
It
the
also
beginning.
made that scene later less impactful for me
Yeah.
because they played the exact same music the first time he did it.
Show
was like-
Odin again.
Yep. Exactly. It was like, oh, you're doing it again. So the second time it didn't hit me because it was like, oh, you already did this. All right.
Of the god.
But yeah, I did love his thunder mode.
Yeah, that was great. Even though he only had one eye in the movie and he had two eyes in the
Which
trailer.
actually,
Actually.
well, that's because they did the eye
Yeah,
thing.
which
but
I actually appreciated.
I wish he hadn't lost the eye. Because I feel like he should be his own person rather than just, hey, you're Odin now.
See, I did kind of. I like the connection to his father. a little
I
bit.
felt like it was too much of a connection.
I didn't
feel
need
like
it. I'm fine
connections
with it.
like that, I like them better if they're emotional.
Okay.
Rather than the direct, hey, look, you lost an eye, you have an eye patch, you're your dad.
Also, I think it worked because Hela did that on purpose. Like, to be like, now you remind me of
True.
Dad.
Mm.
And I did like that line.
Yeah.
That was a good villainous, like, now
Yeah,
you
I'm
look
going to
like
take your
that.
eye specifically to make you look like Odin just to mock you.
Especially because
Oh,
earlier
that's
she
cool.
said you don't look like him.
Also, I like these movies having some stakes. You know? When you put something like that,
Is
it's
that
like, oh, there are
stake, though?
actual consequences.
Yeah, he doesn't
you
have
know?
an eye,
He
man.
doesn't have an eye. Like, that's a real
Is that
consequence of
going
his
to bother
actions.
him at all?
Probably not, but still, it's something. These Marvel movies
I feel
never
like the
have
consequence of his
consequences.
actions is Asgard doesn't exist anymore. and
I
now
mean,
your
that
people are
too, but
refugees.
since that was played for laughs, it doesn't really matter either.
I do wish we got more of her reaction though. Like she ripped his eye out and he's just like, ah.
I mean, that was the whole movie. It was like,
But I mean, like
my dad's dead.
that's a
My
physical.
friends
Like,
are dead. Yeah, I
that
know.
just really, really
That
hurt
should
at the
probably
very
really-
least.
He did go,
She
ah.
screamed,
He did, ah.
ah.
I was worried that like when he got his lightning powers, his eye was gonna grow back. I'm glad that didn't happen. Because I was thinking in the trailer he has two eyes. I'm like, wait a minute, we still need the shot of him with the two eyes, and then they just played the same shot with no eye. And a lot of Loki going, hey, while you weren't looking, I got the codes for this ship so we can escape. Hey, while you weren't looking, I made friends with the Grandmaster so I can do this to help you out. Hey, while you weren't looking, there was a couple of that. But so that was one of them. Then the Heimdall, let me suddenly have your power. That came out of nowhere. You can suddenly like, track
That was
Heimdall the way Heimdall tracks him.
interesting. I do want to see him in Infinity Wars, and not
Yes.
just because I think he's the Stone. I just
You
really
think
like
he is the
Heimdall.
Stone? The
I
Soul
mean,
Stone.
at this point,
Could be Black Panther.
I feel like Black Panther's not going to have a stone, though.
you
It
think
feels too
he could
low
be
key.
the Stone, or you think like
It could be
it's going to be
in that
in
movie.
Wakanda?
Could have something
I
to
also
do
feel
with
like
how
there's
he
too many
gets his
stones on
powers.
Earth. Like, I don't want them all to be on Earth. They're supposed to be spread across the universe. We've
I
already
mean, yeah,
had
you can
what,
make that argument for all of the
everything.
yeah everything, and then
I give you that, but that's why-
Thor, everything's on Earth.
This one and Guardians. But like
Sure.
the only stone that's been on Earth so far was the Tesseract. That was the only one. The Ether was like in a weird alternate dimension, hidden away from the universe, which is fine.
What about
Well, no,
Visions?
the Eye of Agamotto.
Oh, the Eye of
Agamotto.
Agamotto. You're right. So
That's
there was
the
two on Earth.
What did you call it?
Eye of
Yeah.
Alright, cool, got it. What about Vision's face?
Technically, that only came to Earth when Loki brought it to Earth. It was not initially on Earth. Thanos
Where-
had it.
Oh, was that the scepter?
Yeah.
Got it.
So, it did eventually come to Earth. But if you tell me that there's another Infinity Stone that's been hiding on Earth this whole time, that's 3 out of the 6. Half of them. Like, why did Thanos have so much trouble finding them if they were all in one place?
Yeah, he's not very good. But yeah, I think because he says like I see all the souls, and you know, so it's
Also, that is just a figure of speech, though.
is it though?
10,000
Maybe it's
souls.
not.
When you say how many people are on this boat, they always say 10,000 souls or whatever.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
just say people.
Yeah, they don't typically.
Some people were on your plane.
I'm just saying, like, in the continuity of there's a soul stone, it's the color of his eyes.
But the thing
You
is,
see
if
souls.
he's going to be the Soul Stone, I would like them to have done something with it. Because if
Hinted at it
in
so far.
Infinity War, Thanos just is like, hey, you're an Infinity Gem that's kind of really important.
Hey,
Thanks.
you. Also, is he the color, though? Because Soulstone is white, isn't it?
No, they don't have a white
Haven't
stone.
they changed the
I
colors
thought the one in the
anyway?
middle. I mean, they kind of have, but if I remember correctly, and I might be making this up, but I feel like at some point we had. But see, those are not accurate. Fake.
What's wrong with them?
those are not any of the colors we've seen already. But because they do have, yeah, the shot
It's
in
red,
the
green,
initial
yellow, blue, purple.
orange.
This is kind of.
Okay, so there's a shot that we've seen already with Thanos holding the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's used in a bunch of like, teasers and trailers for Infinity War. And you see the colors of the stones, and the one in the middle is white. So Heimdall's orange eyes could still, I mean, he could still be the white one, because Loki's staff was blue, and that's where the Yellowstone was hiding, so.
Well, one of the stones is supposed to be orange, to my knowledge.
Well, I don't know.
It should look like this, I'm pretty sure. Like, these are the stones.
Fake. Fake.
Aw. I'm not getting it. So-
Anyway, it's just fine. It's not there anymore.
It's fine.
We now go the rest without the.
But yeah, he might not be that. I'm kind of glad if he's not, because I don't want to see Thanos just like rip him.
Well, but then
to
that's the
pieces.
other thing is, do we get that same scene twice? Like, hi, Vision, you dead, my stone. Hi, Heimdall, you dead, my stone.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather he just be a
Heimdall.
cool dude who sees souls
Just Heimdall.
with gold eyes.
Can he see the stone then?
He can see everything. He should see everything.
Right, he
can
should
see
just be
the
like,
stone.
door, stone over
It's
there.
over there, man.
Stone over there.
Also,
Stone over
Thanos
there.
is here. Somebody do something about it. There's a blonde chick who's been up there since the 90s. We should probably go find her, too.
No, right? She's marvelous.
Mm.
Final thoughts. You go first.
Yeah.
He just kind of.
Just something like that.
You go.
Anyone
Let's
who's
go
not
down the
guessing.
line.
I want to go first. You
You
go
go.
first.
I loved it. It is fantastic.
Future of the franchise.
What?
Before we do final thoughts, we gotta do future of the
I already
franchise.
did my final thoughts. I'm done. Believe it. All right. Future of the
Where do
franchise.
you think we're going from here? Are we getting goofy?
Where do we think we're going from here? Well, let's see. We have a movie coming out in February. We have another one coming out in May. Look, what kind of question is that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Damn.
But yeah, we know he
Someone
will
went to
return.
Sasgard.
Ooh.
We know he will return in Infinity War because the
Infinity War.
credits told us, and obviously.
And he will start out like in space, running into the Guardians.
Well, that's the
So-
thing. Okay, so this
Pretty
movie
sure that's
ends
Thanos' ship.
with Thanos' ship coming up, and then Infinity War begins, or at least Thor's part begins with him floating in space, crashing to the Guardians.
If Thanos blows up the ship
And
all
everyone
that whole part
dies.
of the people thing is
Yeah,
put on,
that's what
gonna
I'm
be, Ooh.
Everyone except for Thor and presumably Hulk just
Well,
dead.
that's my problem. We're not going to see Thor in between now and Infinity War. What about the whole refugees of Asgard who now have nowhere to be?
They gonna get blown up.
That's kind of a huge
They
issue.
gonna get blown up.
He'll put him somewhere, man.
Will they? Will we see that? Will they
Or
have
they'll
time to
die.
address that?
Either way, those are extras.
I'm assuming they're going to that place in Norway, right, where Odin died.
Oh, he did say, remember this is
Yeah,
home.
remember this place.
This is
I'm
What if there are
assuming that's
people
the-
already living there? What if
There's
there are
not. It's
sheep
Norway.
there?
It's fine. There's no people in
They will
Norway.
colonize. Imperialism.
Oh.
Also, Colin, there's
That's what they do. The
enough
whole
people
movie was
to
about
fit
Odin taking over places.
in a tiny, tiny little spaceship.
That spaceship was pretty big.
Fine, in a large spaceship, they can fit in a small country.
Norway's pretty big. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Earth is pretty big, Colin. We can fit them, all right? We can accept the refugees.
Can we though?
Just put a giant Statue of Liberty outside.
That's something that I don't think Thor is taking into consideration. Like
Don't take anything into consideration.
how we treat outsiders in general, how we as a race
Yeah.
tend to respond to. Although I don't know, maybe the Earth is different now because we all united against the alien threat. I don't know. Because look, something that's overlooked a lot in the MCU is that Iron Man single-handedly stopped all wars on Earth in between Iron Man and Iron Man 2. Since then, there have been no like human wars that haven't been in direct response to these superhero activities. Unless you count the Mandarin.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that would be the only thing. And even he was fake.
What was going on in Sokovia when they got there? Was it just like that?
Yeah, it was just a kind of third world country.
What was all the rebellions and all that for?
Or rebellions.
There were people like throwing bottles and stuff at the Iron Man box.
Acid bottles.
I thought that was just against Iron Man. Like, don't tell us what to do, Iron Man.
What was he doing there?
Also, there was Hydra there. So they could have been... I think Hydra was occupying that city. But again, like I said, that was just superhero stuff.
So, no,
So
like,
if they're
war.
occupying cities, then he didn't stop war.
Yeah, I feel like there's
No,
some
but I'm
act
saying
of
as
war.
far as anything not directly related to the superheroes and the Avengers and all this stuff stopped. Now it's only Hydra or aliens that are causing problems. So it could be a different world in the MCU. I don't know. Maybe people
Can't really confirm that.
I know we can't confirm
statement at all.
I don't know.
There are no wars anywhere on Earth.
No,
Because
that
we've seen
is
wars.
fact. There are no wars. Because that was the whole thing. Iron Man 2 was like, you stopped all wars.
He might have done it then, and then did people realize, you know what, we don't need to stop,
Well,
we can keep going?
like,
Also,
directly
he
after
paused
that
the
is
wars
when the
because
aliens
every
happened.
other country is trying to make Iron Man shoots for war. They're just not good at it yet.
Yeah, they just haven't gone there yet.
So like,
We haven't gone back to being at
he
war
hit
with
the
each
pause
other.
button.
But then Thanos is going to show up, so I feel like we'll all unite. And
Throw planets.
I mean, we won't, we can't do anything.
then we'll try the nuke again, I'm sure. The nuke actually worked last time. Shot at the spaceship, the whole spaceship blew up.
I mean, tasers
Yeah.
work on Thor, so who knows what'll work.
Isn't he the god of thunder?
That wasn't a regular type of taser.
Yeah.
though.
That's true. The only time we've seen him get
Yeah,
tased is
the
with
taser.
A space taser that apparently works on everything. And they probably should have kept to use on Thanos. And B, and B was when,
lost his powers.
in the first Thor when he lost his powers.
He was Donald Blake.
That would be, I would hate that. If we kept this same tone for Infinity War, that could be how it ends. Thanos shows up, he's like, I have ultimate power, and then Tessa Thompson shows up with a taser thing on his neck.
That's gonna be how it should have ended.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet.
We're not.
Future of the franchise. Someone's gonna die.
So everyone blows up in the ship, all of the population of Asgard.
I think they're gonna blow everybody up. But I
Yeah,
think
but are
something's
they
gonna happen to
devote
the ship.
any time to them?
They
In
don't
this
have time
movie
for
that
that.
already has a billion different other people. But that's my problem.
There are extras coming.
That's such a big way to end this movie. Like, hey, the planet you know and love and have lived on your entire life is gone. A lot of people are gone. You have these refugees now. We're not going to be able to get to that because we have to have 100 fucking people in this
Colin.
movie.
Planets get destroyed in movies. Remember Alderaan?
Yeah, but that's
Can you
different
name 10
because
people
she
from
couldn't
Alderaan?
take the people
No, because
off
there's only
of
one
Alderaan.
left.
Also that.
You name 10 people who were there before?
Also, why Jewish bring up Star Wars? Fuck. But this,
Sorry, Krypton.
Leia. I can name more Kryptonians than I can Alderanians.
Everyone can.
Yeah.
The point is, no one's talking about, oh man,
are there two technically? Or
what,
Bale?
2 Kryptonians?
Or did he die too?
And her mom, whose name escapes me at this moment.
Even
What,
he can't
Leia's
do it.
mom?
Yeah.
Padme?
No, her adopted mom.
Oh,
Bale's wife.
sorry. Anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless.
The point is, you don't care about none of these Asgardians. So
I
why
don't
should the
care
audience?
about them
Why should
as
MCU?
individuals.
But-
I care about them as a collective. That is his job now, is shepherding his people to somewhere where they can feel safe and all of that. And we're not going to see that.
Until the
Yeah.
giant purple
To
demon
be
comes
fair,
out, then
we
his job is
never
to fight
spent
that
any
guy.
time on Alderaan. We did spend 2.5
Why are you
movies
back on
on
Alderaan?
on
But he's
it.
making the, yeah,
It's just
but
this bullshit. We got to be back on it. Anyway.
This is your point I'm defending here, Colin.
Love
You
you.
bastard. No, I'm done.
I mean-
Dallas, you're right, and Colin is scum.
cool.
Um,
But yeah, if they all die, then presumably Thor will grieve for a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
If not, oh well, we need to fight Thanos. We don't have time for that.
That's my problem.
Yeah,
we
there's
should
a lot
make
of that
time
going
for
around.
that.
Can't
And I
have
feel
another
like
movie.
this entire movie was we don't have time for that. So if
Whatever,
that just keeps going, Ragnarok was the entire thing was like we don't have time for that. So if it just keeps going, I feel like the MCU is gonna start like
Feeling less impactful.
yes, because they want to get to the big set pieces.
Mhm.
So the smaller moments aren't gonna have time to breathe and matter.
Well, yeah, I think what's the next time we're gonna get to an Infinity War level? Because they're gonna continue after that.
Infinity War Part 2. Or Avengers 4, whatever it's called now.
Right.
Right.
Which is 2020?
I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was no, yeah.
Mhm. Sure. At
No,
this
wait,
point, I
is
don't
it?
know. They keep changing
No,
it.
I think it is. Yeah.
Let's
'cause-
go with that.
No, is it?
I can find
Fuck.
You have to bleep all that out.
out. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I do feel, there was a part of me going, this kind of feels like those old superhero movies from back in the day before we learned how to make superhero movies. Obviously, it's better than, like, say, the Batman and Robins of the world. But it had that same tone
I don't know about
where I'm
that.
like, I don't know if it's going to age as well.
You don't know about that.
Those 80s movies are iconic.
Some of them are. And then some of them are just like, we stopped taking, or we couldn't figure out how to take a superhero movie seriously, so we just kind of didn't care. And this one kind of felt like that. Like, we don't want to take it too seriously, so we're just kind of not going to care about certain
Oh,
things.
for story purposes.
Yeah, for story purposes. So I'm like, I don't know if 20 years from now we're going to look back and go, Thor Ragnarok is as good as we all thought it was opening weekend. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts are a lot like my initial thoughts. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable, but it's kind of like you, where the more I think about it, the more it's like, I love this part, but it's given me a problem. No, not like you.
No, you said it's like you. That's
well,
Colin's
then
final
again,
thought.
actually, yeah, that's kind of...
This movie is the Jesse of the MCU. So take that how you want it.
Thank you.
You brought Jesse to tears with your kind of compliment.
Thank you
Kind of
for
insult.
putting that out on the internet.
Alright, so I've been Dallas. This is Colin. This is Thor Ragnarok.
Where's your final thought?
I gave mine first. I loved it. It's kind of like you.
Not what I meant, for the record.
Literally what you said.
Yeah, not what I
That's
meant.
What he thought, what he was saying.
There was a Freudian
That's
slip in
what
there
he was
somewhere. Colin's true feelings came out in this moment. I'm glad we could have this.
This is what
Now
we're
I
doing
know
this
where
for.
I stand. In
This is what we're
Colin's
doing this
mind.
for.
That was good. Woo! Social media, you can find me at thejester1138 on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me at Duck McGuck on Twitter.
Or don't, because he's an asshole.
Whoa.
Alright?
You find me at a king named Simba on Twitter.
Comment below, like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Thor Ragnarok. Do you think it's gonna last the test of time? Where do you rank this in your MCU listing? All 17 movies. What number is it? Is it 14th best?
Please don't
Is it
actually
like
number all
fifth?
17. Ain't nobody
If
got
you
time for
can, though, if you got that kind of
You might as
dedication,
well-
we
There's a
want to
lot
hear
of
it.
space in our comment section.
Yeah,
should
you
probably
can write
just
as
go
much
for
as you
it.
like. We don't have there's no character count limit, is there?
I'm saying there are no
There's no
comments.
comments?
So.
that. Okay.
Is the movie
Just
like
comment.
Jesse? Do you agree with Colin?
It's because I know he didn't know. He didn't mean what he said that it's so funny.
He's lying. Have fun out there, guys.
I'm about to clap. Colin. All right. I think
Final thoughts now?
that counts as my final thought, I think.
Alright, you turn. You go.
You turn.
You turn?
You
You
turn.
turn. It's you turn.
What?
Please do this so we can stop.
That was my U-turn.
I am coming.